Hey guys, Dr. J here. So in the previous episode we had crash landed in the Atlantic and found a hidden underwater city. Got attacked by its crazed, genetically engineered inhabitants and met the seemingly only sane person here, Atlas. He told us he could help us escape this city, but first he needs us to assist him in saving his family, who are kept in the clutches of the man who built this city, Andrew Ryan. We managed to narrowly escape the trap Ryan had prepared for us and are now trying to get to Neptune's bounty, where Atlas has promised to meet us. In order to do that, we will need to first go through the medical pavilion.
In general, it's a good idea to keep several save files, just in case.
Now you've met Andrew Ryan, the bloody king of Rapture. Now find your way to emergency access.
Okay, so while we do have a specific goal now, it's a good idea to continue searching thoroughly every room we enter. At no point in the game will we be pressed for time.
Simon said he'd release me today. Ryan didn't come to see me since the New Year's attack, not once. But Dr. Steinman was very attentive. He told me that once the scar tissue was gone, he was gonna fix me right up, make me prettier than any girl I've ever seen. He's sweet, all right. And so interested in my case.
That Dr. Steinman sure sounds like a nice guy. By the way, this is the hacking minigame. We just need to create a pathway for the liquid. Easy enough and seems like a fun minigame at first. Unfortunately, it will soon become extremely tedious. Which is why I will try to skip it as much as possible, whether by spending money or using an auto-hack tool. By hacking the sentry bot, we'll also get a couple of achievements. The sentry bot is extremely valuable in this level. We're still very weak and don't have a lot of ammo, so we'll be mostly relying on the bot. The sentry bots we hack will not automatically attack our enemies. They'll only do so if we're injured by them or if we've attacked them ourselves. Another audio diary on the desk.
Ryan and Adam. Adam and Ryan. All those years of studying. Was I ever truly a surgeon before I met them? How we clinked away with our scalpels and toy morality. Yes, we could lop a boil here and shave down a beak there, but could we really change anything? No. But Adam gives us the means to do it. And Ryan frees us from the phony ethics that held us back. Change your look, change your sex, change your race. It's yours to change. Nobody else's. If you want to use the emergency access, you'll be needing Dr. Steinman's key. He's the one that runs this place. I don't expect the hand that you have milking human kindness. Steinman ain't that kind, and frankly, I'm not even sure he's still human.
Well, there goes my theory about Steinman being a good guy. Seems like we'll have to deal with these splicers in order to continue. I will try to leave the heavy lifting to the sentry bot, both in order to conserve ammo as well as to avoid as much damage as possible. The sentry bots are not the most accurate, but they'll get the job done. Eventually. Another thing to keep in mind is that all enemies have an aggro meter, I suppose I could call it. Meaning that they will attack the entity that causes them the most damage. So by just lightly injuring them and then leaving the bots to do its thing, we'll force them to attack the bot instead of us. It doesn't always work as planned, the bots are quite unreliable, but I usually like to just tag a splicer and then continue attacking another one. Usually the first splicer will focus on the bots while I deal with the second one. This went reasonably well. Let's check the bodies and then continue. The ultimate goal in this level is to get the access key from Steinman. Oh, seems like I've missed one taggy splicer. Like I said, just a light stab and then we'll leave the sentry bot to deal with her. There we go. Now let's continue exploring. First I want to go back and thoroughly search the first couple of rooms. We also have our first vendor machine to hack. The difficulty of hacking machines in this level is relatively low. Once we encounter more difficult machines, some of the tiles we flip will be unusable. This will greatly reduce the number of pipe parts we have available. Hacking vendor machines will unlock additional items to purchase, as well as reduce the price of all items. And we've just unlocked the achievement for hacking a vending machine. Also, keep in mind that not all vending machines have the same inventory. Even if they are the same type, they may have slightly different offerings. Good, I think we're done with the intro section of this level.
You promised me pretty, Simon. You promised me pretty.
What's up with these ghosts? They don't seem to do anything.
Presents new problems for the profession. As your tools improved, so do your standards. There was a time I was happy enough to take off a water tube or turn a real circus freak into something you can show in the daylight, but that was then, when we took what we got. But with Adam, the flesh becomes clay. What excuse do we have not to sculpt and sculpt and sculpt until the job is done?
While we were getting a glimpse into Dr. Steinman's psyche, we've had to complete another hacking minigame, this time on a turret. In order to hack a turret, bot or a camera, said machine should not be targeting you. Usually in the case of bots or turrets, you need to use an electrobolt first. Cameras are much easier to stealthily approach and you rarely need to use an electrobolt on them. Later on, we'll get another plasmid that works even better than the electrobolt. Hacking turrets and cameras is extremely important, since unlike sentry bots, they automatically target enemies. So you can leave them to kill the respawn splicers and then come back and loot their bodies. Since we're done hacking turrets, let's see what else we can find in this big hole. We can mostly ignore the remaining splicers if there is an allied turret in the room. In most cases, the turret will take care of them by itself. And here's another diary.
On the surface, the parasite expects the doctor to heal them for free, the farmer to feed them out of charity. How little they differ from the pervert who prowls the streets looking for a victim he can ravish for his grotesque amusement.
Well, that was a bit extreme. I'd like to talk a bit more about the world building once there's a bit more time, with a few more audio diaries to listen to.
I was at German prison camp, only 16 years old when I realized I have love for science. German doctor, he make experiment. Sometimes he makes scientific error. I tell him of this error, and this make him angry. But then he asks, how can a child know such a thing? I tell him sometimes I just know. He screams at me, then why tell me? Well, I said, if you are going to do such things, at least you should do them properly.
I am beautiful, yes. Look at me. What could I do to make my features finer? With Adam and my scalpel, I have been transformed. But is there not something better? What if now it is not my skill that fails me, but my imagination?
Okay, so this here is an example of a more difficult hack. Some of the tiles are unusable and the speed of the liquid is significantly faster. Also, while listening to the audio logs, we destroyed a first aid station. There are two ways to deal with them. We can hack them, which reduces the cost of using them, or destroy them to obtain between 1 and 3 first aid kits. Hacking them will also hurt any splicer that tries to use them. I still prefer to just destroy them though, since that way we can skip hacking them and getting more first aid kits is generally more useful.
It has been brought to my attention that some citizens have discovered ways to hack the vending machines. I should not need to remind each and every citizen of Rapture that free enterprise is the foundation upon which our society has been established. Parasites will be punished.
Okay, so back to the world building. Rapture, Andrew Rice's philosophy, and even some of the characters are heavily inspired by Ayn Rand's works. More precisely, her books Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead. Without delving too much into her teachings, she created a philosophical system called objectivism, which I think would be easiest to explain as the antithesis of communism. Though I guess that's a huge oversimplification. In essence, objectivism is the concept of man as a heroic being, with his own happiness as the moral purpose of his life, with productive achievement as his noblest activity, and reason as his only absolute. Rapture can be regarded as the product of this philosophy taken to the extreme. I'll get back to that in a bit, but first I want to introduce a new type of splicer, the nitro splicer. This guy is much tougher than even the leadhead splicers and throws sticks of dynamite. We'll soon get a plasmid that will help us easily deal with him, but right now we'll have to mostly rely on the sentry bot. That being said, headshots are quite effective on him.
When Picasso became bored of painting people, he started representing them as cubes and other abstract forms. The world called him a genius. I've spent my entire surgical career creating the same tired shapes over and over again. The upturned nose, the cleft chin, the ample bosom. Wouldn't it be wonderful if I could do with a knife what that old Spaniard did with a brush?
Yeah, having your face look like a Picasso painting is exactly what you'd want from your plastic surgeon. And here we encounter the first camera. If it spots you, it will focus on you, and after a couple of seconds it will start an alarm which will summon 2 sentry bots to attack you. Even if you destroy or disable the bots, new ones will keep spawning until you cancel the alarm by going to a certain wall panel and paying some money, or by waiting for 1 minute until the alarm elapses. Before hacking the camera, I press the button to cremate the body left on the trolley. Once we get it well done, we can loot our first tonic from it. Tonics are like passive perks. They give you certain abilities that can be extremely helpful. For example, this physical tonic will slightly increase our health and E every time we hack something. As with plasmids, there are a certain number of slots in each category of tonics we have available. We can buy additional slots later on. You've probably noticed the jump cut just now. I forgot to press the recording button during this part, so I'm using a previous run I've done. It's just for a short while, and then we're back to the original recording. This oil spill looks quite conspicuous. It reminds me of that pond in the previous level. Let's go back downstairs and deactivate our bot. I'll explain why in just a bit. Since the door is locked, we need to use the opening left of it. These kinds of small openings are designed to force us to abandon our companions. That's not the reason we needed to deactivate the bot here though. Okay, now we can go back to the locked door and finally enter the room. Let's take our time and loot everything here.
We rebuild our city and the doubters send a fly to spoil our home. 1,000 atoms to the man or woman who pins its wheel.
Cool, Andrew Ryan has put a bounty on our head.
Light up foes to 1,000 degrees. Warning, fire spreads.
Thanks to this educational video, we now know how to use the incinerate plasmid. Now about that oil spill I mentioned earlier. And this is the reason we had to deactivate our bot away from here. Unfortunately, there is friendly fire enabled in this game, so we need to keep this in mind when using explosives or incendiaries.
Security, the splicers, the big daddies, the little sisters. He pumps some kind of chemical scent in the air. Pheromones, they call it. Makes them all dance to his tune.
I think we're done here. Let's go back to collect our sentry bots and continue exploring. And here is the end of the audio recording. Okay, we're done here, so let's go back to the main hub of the level. And while waiting for the bots to catch up, let's talk a bit more about philosophy. So, considering the state Rapture is in, it seems like this extreme capitalism didn't work out all that well. Though that is of course only the creators of Bioshock's, I guess, opinion on the matter. Or it might not even be that, but simply a narrative decision in order to make the game more interesting. Well, enough about that. It seems we're done here, so let's go back to that frozen door we passed earlier. Let's try using the incinerate plasmid on the ice and see what happens. Would you look at that? The ice melted. And here we have another couple of rooms to explore. Let's first deal with the sluggish splicer over here. And then check out that coffin. I guess we're in a funeral home, which makes sense since this is supposed to be Rapture's hospital. All codes are available somewhere in the level, though we can simply hack them as well. The auto-hack tool does exactly what it says. We'll be using them quite often in the latter parts of the game. Now let's check the middle door. This looks like an autopsy room, which again makes sense for a hospital to have one. Oh, I see you, dude. A jump scare? Nope, false alarm. There is a tonic over there on the cupboard though. Security expert reduces the difficulty in hacking turrets and cameras. It is actually quite useful as it makes hacking minigames slightly less tedious. Where did that dude go though? Ah, there's the jump scare. It was a good effort. Okay, so each weapon has 3 different types of ammo. Each of them has a specific use. This one is the armor-piercing type, which is supposed to help against Big Daddies. On Survivor difficulty, however, the Big Daddies have so much health that it doesn't make sense to use it against them. Okay, just one more door left in the funeral home. Let's deal with that splicer first though. Come on. Let's lure him in open space. Damn, she's fast. I was hoping the bot will deal with her, but it seems it's sleeping on the job. Again. Okay, so the door is locked. How do we open it? Yeah, I figured there was some kind of a trap here. It seems to be triggered by picking up the armor-piercing rounds. Let's hack this turret and then the safe behind it. Hacking the safe will also unlock its hacking achievement. Usually safes have a pretty high difficulty, but there are also tonics that are designed specifically to reduce their difficulty. And now the save. On the plus side, the hacking minigame for saves has less tiles, so we should finish it quicker. But like I said, they are pretty difficult to hack. Nearly failed in my attempt. Though it's not the end of the world even if we fail. We can try as many times as we need to. Well, we are finally done with the funeral home. This was completely optional, but it did give us some resources, and especially at this stage of the game, that's quite helpful. Going down the stairs, there's another frozen passageway and a vending machine to the right. As usual, let's check all the containers and then go hack the machine. There's also a malfunctioning door, it seems. Let's shock it and see what we can find inside. Okay, as the sign says, it seems like this is a supply closet. Hopefully we'll find something useful here. Another auto-hack tool and some ammo. Okay, I'll take that. Now let's hack the vendor. We are not even an hour into the game and I'm already tired of this minigame. Though to be fair, this is not my first run. Well, nothing of value in the circus of values, so let's pick that audio log and then melt the ice that blocks our way.
Simon, I know medical pavilion is your matter, but you might want to cogitate on this. Ocean water is colder than a witch's tin. You don't heat the pipes freeze. Pipes freeze, pipes burst. Then Rapture leaks. Now, I realise you're a posh sort of geezer, and frankly, I don't give a toss if you piss or go fishing. But once Rapture starts leaking, the old girl's never gonna stop. And then I'll be sure to tell Ryan he's got you to thank.
And there's one more audio diary near the entrance to the dental.
At the German prison camp, they put me to work on genetic experiments on other prisoners. They call me das Wunderkind, the Wonder Child. Germans. All they can talk about is blue eyes and the shape of forehead. All I care about is why is this one born strong and that one weak? This one smart, that one stupid. All that killing. You think the Germans could have been interested in something useful?
Yeah, leaving the shotgun in the open like that definitely did not look like a bait for a trap. Well, let's deal with the ambush. We'll have plenty of first aid kits if we get hurt. Right now I'm more concerned about saving ammo than first aid kits. I could have been using the shotgun and it would have been much quicker, but the normal machine gun rounds are pretty useless and I want to give the bot an opportunity to deal some damage as well. By the way, the machine gun does not do bonus damage on headshots, so it was a bit of a waste of time to try to aim for the head. And it looks like I've missed one. There we go, we're done with the ambush. Like I said, we've plenty of first aid kits, so it doesn't really matter if we take some damage.
Well, this is it for today's episode. Thank you for spending your time with me, and if you have enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It will really help me a lot. Also, if you have any comments or suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Take care, and until next time.